Okay, so now Dave's going to do his turn. Okay, so his sniper is going to go on Overwatch. What that rule basically does is if he does not move or shoot, he points the model in the direction that he wants to watch. So in this case, we're going to point the gun. And he gets a 90-degree, so yeah, like that. See how his hands are at a 90-degree angle? He gets a 90-degree view. If anybody in his line of sight moves during the enemy's turn, then the guy on Overwatch can shoot. Okay, they can interrupt the movement at any point and take a shot. So it's nice for a sniper because he can watch these guys, and if these guys decide to break cover, in other words, try to run from here to here, he can take his guy off of Overwatch and shoot them just as they jump out of cover and try to pick one of the guys off. Alright, so the sniper is on Overwatch, and now we'll see what he'll do with his other squad. Okay, so they're going to open fire. So what do you want to fire first? The 3 rifles? Okay, so the rifles have an 18-inch range. These guys are definitely in cover. If it's ever in question, you just do true line of sight. Okay, so now we have to do the modifiers. The rifles are an 8+ weapon, and the squad that they're shooting at is behind heavy cover, which gives them a +3. So that brings that 8+ up to 11+. And they have armor, which is a +1, so that brings it up to 12+. And they move 10 inches, so that's another +1. If squad moves at least 10 inches, there's some other faster squads. They're harder to hit because of how fast they're moving. So it's a 13+. Now 13+ is impossible on D12s, but the rule for 13+ is it's the same as a 12+. So he has to hit 12s to kill. So he rolled an 8, a 1, and a 10, so we have no kills. Now there's still a chance of inflicting a hit. A hit occurs when you miss your roll by 2 or less. Now in the case of a 13+, a miss would be an 11, and a kill would be a 12. If he had to roll a 9+, then a 9+ would be a kill, and a 7 or an 8 would be a hit. So in this case, even the 10 does not hit because it's a 13+. So those 3 rifles did nothing. So you can see how strong cover is in this case. Now he has his machine gunner, has a 24-inch range, and it's a 6+ weapon. It doesn't have any armor piercing, so it's going to be the same modifier, so we'll bring our 13+ down to an 11+. So in this case, an 11+ will kill, and a 9 or a 10 will be a hit. Alright, so we have a 6, so that's nothing. We have a 5, which is nothing, and we have a 10, which is a hit. So even though he didn't kill anything, every hit or wound that a squad takes, they have to make a morale test. If they fail their first morale test, they are pinned, which means they can't move. They can still shoot. If they fail 2 morale tests, then they become suppressed, which means they can't move or shoot because they're just too busy trying to get behind cover to do anything else. So in this case, because the leader, if the leader's within 6 inches of the squad or part of the squad, you can use his morale. Otherwise, you use your character, which is the machine gunner. Otherwise, you basically use whatever's the best in the whole group. In this case, the best one is a 5+. We roll a d12, and I have to get 5 or higher to pass my morale test. 11. So they're fine. They are not pinned. He has a laser rifle as well, which is a 6+ weapon, but it has an AP1. So since it's an AP1 weapon, it ignores my 1 armor. So it'll be a 6+ plus 1 because I moved, so 7+, and +3 because I'm in heavy cover. So it's a 10+. So the laser rifle is a single shot, 10+ in this case. 2. That's nothing. An 8 or a 9 would still have been a hit, and a 10 or 10+ would have been a kill. Okay, so now it's my turn. First thing I want to do is shoot. If you think you're going to be doing close combat, which I'm not sure if these guys will make it to, I'm pretty sure they won't, but you should do your shooting first, because if guys get into close combat and then you shoot at them, you have a chance of hitting your own guys. And yes, you are allowed to shoot into close combat. There's a chance to kill your own guys though. So I'm just going to return fire onto this squad. We'll start with my riflemen. I have 4 of them, and they're all in range. So I need 4 dice. So it's the same weapon, it's an 8+ weapon, but he has a 2 armor rather than 1, so it's +2, so it's 10+, and he's behind heavy cover, so it's another +3. So it's 13+. So you notice that even though he didn't run, I still have a 13+ because he has heavy armor. So 13+, so 12 will be a kill and 11 will be a wound. Nothing. And then we have the machine gunner, who's going to be an 11+ against them. 12. Okay, so we've got a kill. A kill will either be a kill or a wound on a character. A character doesn't necessarily die when it gets hit. First things we got to do, because there are characters in the squad, we have to roll to see if we hit the characters. If there are only 2 people in the squad, including characters, you just roll, and a 7+ hits the character. Anything else kills a regular guy. Because there's more than 2 people in this squad, we roll, and a 10+ will hit a character. So a 10+ will hit a character. So 7. So a regular guy was hit, he's just killed. There's no armor saves, there's no feel no pain, none of that. It's all factored into the roll. So 1 guy is dead. And that's it. So now my laser rifle. So you can see the game's not very forgiving when people actually die. The laser rifle's in range. he will be a 6+. Now normally they have 2 armor, but he has AP 1, so he reduces their armor by 1. So it's a 7+, and they're in heavy cover, so it's a 10+. 5, nothing happens. Okay, so that squad is done. This squad is going to run, because the last thing I want to do is have them land in the middle. Even though it'd be nice to shoot the flame template into them, there's a chance that I would do next to nothing, and then they would get mowed down after that. So they are going to... Actually, you know what? I'll take the chance. I want to show you what happens when you do something stupid. Actually, this might work out to my favor. Who knows? I might get really lucky with my flamethrower roll. And like I said before, this game isn't balanced. With the squads that I have here, I reduced the army sizes just because I wanted to get this demo game in faster. So he ran to here. So he's going to try to shoot his flamethrower. Oh, and he's out of range. Just out of range. So nothing happens. Now that sniper who was on Overwatch didn't get a chance to shoot because these guys never moved. Shooting does not count as moving. Okay, so since they didn't move at all, that Overwatch is wasted. So you have to be careful when you go on Overwatch not to just do it because you can. And you should only do it when you're sure or pretty sure that the squad is going to break cover. In this case it's a ranged squad, so it might not have been the best idea to put it on Overwatch. So it's the end of my turn. We'll go back to Dave's turn. You'll see what happens to a squad when it's out in the open. So he wants to shoot at this squad, so he's going to move that one soldier around. Now the rifle has a movement penalty of 2, which means if he moves further than his movement -2, in other words, in this case 3 inches, he's going to have a +2 modifier. But only the one guy will have that modifier. It's not a whole squad or nothing thing, it's a unit by unit. You're going to shoot at the squad right here. Okay, so let's start with the guy that moved. So he has an 8+ to hit, he has a +1 because of their armor, so that's 9+, and he has a +2 because he moved, so an 11+. So even though he moved, he still only needs an 11+. 8, so nothing happened. You have the other rifleman who will only be a 9+ now. Oh, 4. Well, maybe you guys out in the open will survive. Why don't you do your laser rifle next? It'll be a 6+, and that's it. Oh, I got an 8. That's a kill. So roll to see, there's a character in here, so a 10+ will hit the character. 10, so we hit the character. Now, when you hit a character, you roll on a character table, you roll a d12, and you just consult it. I'll just say what it is in this case, but you can refer to the rules to see what it does. A 3. A 3 is a flesh wound. We mark that with green. And what that'll do is it adds 1 to all of his attacks. He can only take 2 flesh wounds, and then if you roll a flesh wound again, it gets upgraded to the next level. So he's fine. That's pretty much the worst thing he could roll, or the best thing for me, the worst thing for him. So now he's got his machine gun. Now here's the thing. He's got a 6+ on the machine gun, no modifier. Oh, he has a +1 modifier because of their armor. So 7+ with 3 rolls. Oh, 3 kills, an 8, a 10, and a 12. So he's going to roll those 3 dice to see how many hit the character. 1 hits the character, that's a 12, and the other 2 kill regular guys. So 2 guys die, and another roll on the character, see what happens to him. 7. A 7 is a critical, which means he gets knocked over, takes another flesh wound, and he takes a critical. What a critical does, every critical marker that he has, the next time he rolls on that table, he adds 6 for every critical marker there is. So it'll be very easy. If you roll 13+, which you can only do when there's a critical marker, it kills the character. So this character is next to death. This squad took a total of 4 hits. Okay, there was actually all 4 of them were wounds. But even if there was some of them that were just hits and no wounds. So I had to take 4 morale tests. Now my leader is not within 6 inches, so I have to use my character's morale of 6+. So roll to see. Okay, so 2 of them made it and 2 of them didn't. So this squad becomes suppressed. And the way we mark that is we put 2 blue markers. 1 blue marker is pinned, and then the second blue marker is suppressed. And you're going to see what happens to a suppressed unit that's out in the open during my turn. So yeah, see, this is what happens when a squad goes out in the open. They get completely mowed down with no mercy or respite. By the machine gunner did most of that damage. So you got to be very careful with those kind of tactics. So he still has a sniper. What are you going to do with him? He's going to shoot at the squad. So it's a 4+, +3 for cover, so 7, +1 for armor, so 8+, single shot. 2, so he misses. The sniper's not doing much. Snipers can actually be very deadly if their rolls do a little better. Okay, so now it is my squad's turn, or my turn. Okay, first thing I have to do is, well, I guess I don't have to do it in this order, but I'm going to do them first anyways. Because if a unit is pinned or suppressed and they are not in cover, and that means that even if one enemy can see them and count them as not in cover, they have to run away to the nearest cover. Now, this is going to be a little complicated because my guy's lying down. So his run, he can't actually run until he stands up. So he's going to lose half of his movement as he stands. So when he stands, a normal run will be 10 inches. But he gets up, that's 5 of the inches. So hopefully he'll make it back to cover. Otherwise he'll just get gunned down. So these guys are running back to this cover. And they count as having run even if they don't move the normal run distance. And then they're no longer suppressed. The suppression or pinned only lasts for 1 turn. But all these extra markers still follow him around. So this squad basically can't do anything. So pinning and suppressing is very an important factor of the game, because even though he didn't kill that squad, you might be wondering, oh, it wasn't much that happened to that squad, only 2 guys died and the 1 guy got damaged. You got to get yourself out of the 40k mindset where it's all about killing an entire squad. It's all about suppressing them and pinning them as well, because now this squad is useless for this turn, and as soon as they try to advance again, if I'm lucky, I'll be able to get them in, but they're very weakened compared to how they were before. So this squad over here, they're going to open fire again on this squad. So we'll see if my commander's in range. Yeah, they're all going to be in range. So we'll start with my 4 riflemen. So they are an 8+ to hit, +2 armor, +3 because of the cover, so it's 13+. So 12s are going to be kills and 11s will be wounds. Or sorry, hits. Oh, we got a kill. I'm getting lucky with my rifle shots. See who it hits. It's a regular guy, so one of your squad members dies. The person who's taking losses always chooses laser rifle. So he's a 6+, +3 for the cover, +2 for the armor. Or actually only +1 for the armor because he's armor penetrating. So that's 10+. 9. So 9 is a hit. So we got to do a morale check. Actually, we forgot to do a morale check for them last turn, but it doesn't matter because they would have just at most been pinned and they didn't move anyways. Actually, the 1 guy did, but it doesn't matter. We forgot to do a morale test last turn, and that's okay. So we've got 1 hit and 1 wound on them so far, so we got to keep track of that. And then the 3 from the machine guns, it'll be the same as the laser rifle, so 6+, actually it won't be the same, there's no armor penetrating. So 6+, +3 for the cover, +2 for the armor, so 11+. Oh! No wounds, but 2 more hits. So that's 4 hits in total. So he has to make 4 morale tests, because he lost 1 guy and he got hit 3 times. So I'm going to hand the dice over to Dave, and he can use his leader's morale, which is, in his case, is a 4+. But if he fails 2 of these, he won't be able to shoot next turn. Oh, and he does. A 1 and a 3. So this squad is now suppressed, which means they can do nothing next turn, because they're in cover, so they don't have to run to cover. So as much as I didn't really do much damage to them, they can't shoot for next turn, which will keep my squad alive maybe long enough to get into close combat. And that's the end of my turn. So let's pass it back over to Dave.